Hey there folks, we are back on Runes of Argus today and we're going to be watching Theodosios. Playing the Inquisitor here, and he is allied with Aniketos. What are these names? What the fuck are these names? This is like some Greek shit. What the hell is this? And a bit easier to pronounce, we've got Dingus Khan and Funnyman2U. I'm now contemplating talking about the actual pronunciation of Khan, but Dingus Khan. Let's just leave it at that, because I don't know. I'm just gonna call these guys Theo and Annie. Annie and Theo. Let's see if they can be a wonderful little team here. We've got Guardsman running around down the bottom. Funnyman2U is rocking triple Guardsman. Never an optimal build, but it's what Funnyman2U is doing. Don't know why. I suspect he's going to suffer greatly for it. And fighting against the Plague Champion down bottom here on Runes of Argus is very unfortunate for Funnyman2U. A, dislodging the Plague Champion from that garrison there is going to be an absolute pain in the arse. And B, if these heretics pick up grenade launchers, that's also going to be a pain in the arse, because then they can shoot over the walls. So we'll see how he manages to deal with that. As it stands, Dingus has took the top. Is going to be noding that up. He did that with a little bit of pressure from his Howling Banshees, but Theo does have a Sentinel, and that is going to be able to deter the Banshees. Guardians over here isolated against the Sentinel, and the Guardsman squad are going to struggle. But they have a bit of support here from the Warlock. They will inevitably get forced off though. And over here some Flamethrowers came out, which will of course help encourage the Plague Champion to leave that bloody building. I'm going to put one of the Guardsmen inside it now. Doesn't matter, does it? He's got the Flamers. Looks like the Flamers toasted the Heretics as well. We can see just over here. Only just got out alive with one model, and a fair bit of reinforcing to do. Can the Plague Champion get taken down here by the Commissar? He's got that powerful bolt pistol, strongest bolt pistol in the game. 17.5 DPS that bad boy does. And Funnyman2U is going to keep the Lord Commissar in play so that he can actually catch with the BB as the Guardsmen press forward. Might be an idea to just force melee onto these Flamethrowers. They will actually do quite a significant amount of damage, you'd be surprised. Again, they're going to rust those Heretics without an Aspirant Champion to buff their HP. Okay, they're getting some grenade launchers. Warlock just went down over here. I don't know why he was committing so hard when he was isolated, that's a bit weird. But he did. Got the stomp here on the Sentinel, Guardsman just got out. And the Inquisitor is loitering bot. I guess because they're... Oh, she wants the revive, of course. She should be able to get this here. That was a very nice special. Yeeting the Guardsman quite a distance. Hammer of the Witch is going to go down to the Commissar, but he does have his energy for a shield. Can she get another 2 hits? No, not enough. I'd have waited to Hammer of Witches him in the retreat path. Then you'd have had a better chance of wiping him, I think. The enemy might have stayed in play for a bit longer. So anyway, the Inquisitor here of Theo does actually get the revive on Annie. But now Annie is going to advance on the gen farm. Another option that the Plague Champion has at the bottom of this map here that's really useful for him is the Bile Spewer, which is a flamer style weapon, so will bash the gens very quick and serve the dual purpose of also being anti-garrison. Plague Champion is just really good at the bottom of this map. He also can plant turrets, which you can't really flank very easily, and you can plant a turret here, and then the enemy has to come all the way down here, which is quite a distance. You could even steal the enemy's power farm and then plant a turret to defend it. Oh, it's just a nightmare. Has he got double flamers? No, just single. I mean, considering the lack of expenditure that Funnyman2U has spent, he's doing rather well. Okay, now we've got a Havoc here though. Havoc, double Eternal War CSM and Grenade Launcher Heretics. Yeah, this is not an area of the map that you're going to be able to push right now. It's just not going to work. Dingus is doing a bit better. Dingus has got triple shurikens, which will certainly be annoying for an IG that doesn't have a spotter, and that is why Theo, in spite of already having 4 units, is going to be investing in a artillery spotter squad. Because, I mean, Jesus. It's a lot of suppression teams to deal with. No war gear on the Warlock. No war gear on any of the heroes yet. And Dingus attempting to build a power generator up here, I guess, seeing that his ally was losing it down bottom. Theo never got all the gens here, and blue team should be quite a bit behind in power anyway because they took so long to secure their bottom power farm, and it looks like if we see the text here, they are a little bit behind. I mean, the thing is, Funnyman2U, even though he is way ahead in power, he just didn't spend any. It's not like they generated that much more. Funnyman2U literally only spent 15 power on some flamers. That's it. Oh, one of the shurikens just got wiped in the mid here. I guess Dingus wasn't really paying attention. Warlock isolated. I don't know how much he's going to achieve here. He's trying to stop the decap. Get this income going a little bit longer, but it's not going to work. And in fact, Theo's just going to take the generator. Cheers, mate. Free generator for me. I'll have it. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Commissar stalling. I mean, he managed to get the decap, so that's something, I guess. The VP pressure is definitely on for the red team, but they're going to be able to push back once this Chimera comes out for Funnyman2U. He's got the triple guardsman to support it as well. Probably pick up the stubbornness then on the Commissar, which periodically heals your Commissar based on the quantity of guardsmen around him. It's obviously going to be a lot of guardsmen, and you see there, picking up the plasma guns on one of his guardsmen now. Combination of plasma guns and the flamers against Havocs that were in cover absolutely melts them. And again, CSM melting as well. If you remember back to the start of the game where the triple guardsmen were shooting at the CSM here and they were doing basically no damage because they just had las guns. A little bit different now. And they've got all these specialist equipment. And a nice flank there from Dingus. He did kill... No, he didn't actually kill any of his own guardians with the grenade, but he did get a CSM. And then another one with the Banshees, but the problem is now this force up top. Okay, this is a nice rotation from the players here. Dingus can't really deal with Theo's build up top because Theo's got such a heavy tier 1 that counters the shuriken spam that Dingus has got. So they've done a little bit of switcheroo here, and the Chimera's gone top, while Dingus sends some of his more mobile assets down bottom, including the Banshees. So the Chimera here should be able to put in some work. I don't know if it's going to be able to gem bash though. Blue team are on their way to tier 2. It should be ample time to get a little bit of a bash off. Flamers down bottom though, they're going to be able to get this bash off quite easily. Could execute them with a Commissar, double their damage, but the grenade launchers as usual, a pain in the arse. But well microed Chimera here, making sure that both the side turrets and the pintle mounted bolter on the front as well as the actual primary las turret are all firing at the generators. Gets 2 of the gens, just going to back off now. He obviously doesn't know that the enemies are in tier 2 or not, so he's playing conservatively. Of course, now the blue team are in tier 2, so there could be a missile launcher sentinel on the way, and indeed there is, and that sentinel was waiting there to get its missile launcher. So a very good play from Funnyman2U, going to disengage. A flare goes down from him now, trying to buy a bit of time. First bit of AV is now on the field, and autocannon Havoc. And is that a melter gun on the Kadishan Devils with the Sergeant? Indeed it is, and the melter gun's probably going to kill the Chimera, and it does! Melter gun kills the Chimera. Obviously most of the damage there came in actually from the Havocs. Banshee's having a bit of a flank, managed to take out the Plague Champion. What's going on up top? This is going to be resecured by Dingus. He's got his Cloak of Shadows on the way. He is the last one to tier 2. He's going to take back the generator that he built, and the Shuriken can guard the top. I'm noticing Webway Gate's coming up now. We've got a Webway Gate in the base of Dingus. We've got a Webway Gate coming up top as well. Guardsmen for the red team are going to be securing the bottom power. So blue team need to do something about this, to be honest. They're losing a lot of map control here. And most importantly, they've lost all their gens. So they're literally down to 1 gen right now if they can't get this gen farm back down at the bottom of the map. I mean, they force off the guardsmen here. The rest of the guardsmen are now chilling in the mid. So I guess that little force from Annie should be able to take the bottom. Maybe get some more gens built. At the moment, they're not building any more gens on the top. Sentinel a bit isolated here. Needs the support of its guardsmen. But a flank from the Commissar of Funnyman2U is delaying those guardsmen. He will just about get out of there. And another flank from Funnyman2U here with his flamers. Everyone's got flamers. Some pretty brutal AoE damage coming onto the guardsmen there of the red team from this missile launcher sentinel. But they get the other gen. This is the problem for the blue team. They're really low on gens. One more has been built down the bottom by Annie. Okay, Annie's going to build another 2. They are securing the bottom as well, so that's good. They're kind of all over the place. Okay, I mean, I don't know about this build. It's committed to 2 fully upgraded Mark of Zinchka Space Marines. It's... I mean, you want ranged assets, sure, whatever, but it just feels like very, very heavy commitment for primarily anti-heavy infantry ranged assets, which is very inefficient because, of course, Eldar and IG both are predominantly light infantry, so it seems a bit overkill. Probably didn't need to get the Mark of Zinch. And I think maybe something like a Dreadnought could have been useful, but Funnyman2U is actually going tier 3, so even then that might not be that productive. Heretic should really be taking a garrison right now. Banshees need to get onto the autocannon, that will do far more damage to them. So they do. Heretics, what are you doing? Get in the garrison. They're not. Ooh, Guardsmen here in a lot of trouble. Yeah, they're gonna get wiped. That was the yeah, that was a flamethrower guardsman. CSM are gonna come back out of the base. Castions are isolated here. Suppressed by the shuriken over there. Clearly it got knocked back by the old reliable. And the guardsmen here need to get out against this ranged blob. But some pressure coming in from Theo at the top here onto the gen farm. Flamers unfortunately are suppressed at the moment by the shuriken. They need to move up a little bit and walk around. There is not really an excess of power for either of the teams right now, so the generator play, even though we're quite late into the game here, is still very important. That's a real testament to how little they've been able to secure full power farms throughout this entire game. So even though Funnyman2U got to tier 3 so early, he's been forced to go for Kassakin because they're only 60 power, whereas a Lehman Russ is 135, and he would be waiting a very long time. He'd still not have the resources to even start building a Lehman Russ. So instead it's going to be the Kassakin. We'll see how they do. The problem is that, ironically, I was complaining about the Mark of Zinchka Space Marines, but they're actually going to be really good against Kassakin because Kassakin are heavy infantry. So the Plasma Gun on the Mark of Zinch Aspiring Champion will do bonus damage against the Kassakin. However, right now, this is just way too much damage. They're fighting Kassakin and double guardsmen and a commissar all on their own. We've got the Armour of Pestilence now on the Plague Champion, making him a fair bit more durable. 500 extra max HP is pretty nice when that's like nearly all your max HP to start with. Honestly, kind of surprised that these heretics are still alive. They've been running around with no Aspiring Champion for a very long time. Kudos to Annie on that one. And again, CSM isolated, not really going to be able to achieve a whole lot, really. Couldn't even take the garrison there because of the Kassakin having grenades. Cloak of Shadows. Not only does this give you the infiltration, but you'll notice, if it tells you even, yeah, which infiltrates nearby friendly units, reducing their range damage by 15% and suppression by 30%. So it's protecting these units from range attacks. What the fuck was that? That was the Emperor's Wrath from Funnyman2U's Commissar in their base. I think it did kill some as well. And this is going to be bleeding the requisition of Annie quite a bit. A lot of lost CSM models. And once again, the full power farm that was down here is going to be captured. I think the KD and Kassakin should really be focusing on getting their Sergeant, because that will give them 50% extra capping speed, which would be quite useful. Okay, they're going to get them now. They just donned some plasma guns. Going to throw out a frag, hopefully hit the Kadashans. Nope. And they, yep, you see the Mark of Zinch right there, absolutely melting them. Kadashan Devils meleeing down the Guardsmen. The Banshees are a little bit late to the party here. And I really think the Commissar needs to be getting a melee weapon upgrade. He's not really achieving a whole lot right now with his poking with that crappy little tier 1 sword he's got. It's a little bit late in the game for the tier 1 swords. Top is still looking secure for the red team, but one would think that the blue team are going to take the bottom and then have a 2-1 against them. Red team a little bit ahead in VPs, but all the players at this point are in tier 3. Seer Council are going to be the weapon of choice for Dingus. Oh, Purgatus. I have not seen Purgatus in a very long time. Oh, that was mildly short of the shuriken there, so it didn't get its damage. If you didn't know, when Purgatus terminates, where anything within its ring takes 200 damage. And yeah, that's on a per model basis, so you can easily wipe squads with it. So if every model of the Guardian Weapons team was in it, then they'd all take 200 damage each. And you can see that they've got less than 800 HP, so they would all get wiped. And of course, if you also didn't know, you can manually choose when you terminate the Purgatus. So it's a bit of a, I don't know, some sort of skill shot executability. Beautiful Abyss, placed partially in the retreat path. And it even pulls in the shuriken! The die last shuriken, and wipes that as well. What a fucking beautiful Abyss. Wow. Well, there you go. That's how you use an Abyss. You don't place it right on top of the opponent. You place it partially in the retreat path, such that when they retreat through the ring, which does maximum damage, and they get wrecked. Funnyman2U now has no units. And Annie is actually getting a Predator. Hilarious that the Chaos player is going to get the Predator first, the tank first, before Funnyman2U, even though it feels like Funnyman2U is the one who went tier 3 ages ago. Oh, I really feel like the Inquisitor could probably have got into melee there. I really wouldn't have achieved much anyway with the Banshees and the Seers coming over. Yeah, probably a good idea she retreated. So Theo's looking pretty lax right now. He doesn't really have anything... Oh, Theo. Fucking hell, Theo. God, he hit his own men more than he did anything else there. What the hell was that rocket run? That was terrible. Well, Theo's in trouble, but he does have a Lehman Russ coming, so he's going to have to wait for that, because his current composition can't really do anything against the Seers and Banshees and Warlock combination, but maybe when he gets Lehman Russ out, he'll be okay. How is Funnyman2U going to be able to deal with this composition here? A lot of versatile ranged firepower. He's going for a Stormblade. So I guess he's going to try and win the game by breaking his opponent's computers. Interesting. Remains to be seen how effective that will be. I mean, if it's a Mac of Corn Predator, that won't do great against the Stormblade, and certainly the Heavy Infantry Zinchkir Space Marines will be in for a bit of a rough time against the massive plasma cannon of the Stormblade. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, it just finished the upgrade in time. It's trying to get rear armor. Emperor's Wrath, whilst the tank was immobilized, getting its mark. And of course the Havoc as well will get wrecked by the Stormblade. But it's just... the Stormblade's so slow. I don't know. It feels like it's kind of a sitting duck. We'll see how it does against maybe double Lehman Russ or something like that. I think Annie is going to be kicking at themselves for getting the Mark of Corn Predator here, though. Obviously, getting the Mark of Zinch would be a lot better to deal with the Stormblade. Flak Jacket execute there, but unfortunately the Aspirant Champion is a little bit too tanky on this CSM squad. And not really any AV up here for Dingus. He's going to be getting a Bright Lance here, and he's also going to be getting a Fire Prism. Funnyman2U is going to be following it up with some Ogrins, probably some Bullgrins, one would assume. They do have a passive damage resistance against ranged attacks, so they will be a little bit better than some of your other options for shrugging off the Inferno and Plasma Cannon fire from these Zinchkir Space Marines. Rocket Run, this could be big. Okay, certainly these heretics should be screwed. And he wipes out one of the CSM as well. Cool. Alright, that's something. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Plague Fist PC. Heavy melee is a problem for the Stormblade because the Stormblade cannot fire that big phallic cannon while it's moving. So if you get heavy melee on it, it's a problem because it's able to do a lot against it because it's so slow and it can't really retaliate whilst it's trying to drive away. Of course, its bolters and its las cannons will fire, but it's not going to do too much to an Armour of Pestilence Plague Champion that's level 5. And the other problem, of course, for Funnyman2U is he has no repair support, so he's now purchasing a squad of guardsmen. He's got that bonehead on his Ogrins, presumably, as I say, going to be getting some Bulgrins. I'm not sure the speed of the ordinary Ogrins is really worth anything here. I think you just want durability, to be honest. Lehman Russ over here for Theo. Pretty damn weak at the moment. I don't know if it really wants to be taking on this Fire Prism. But the Fire Prism needs line of sight. Okay, there's now double repair support for the Lehman, so it's going to do just fine. And there is, in fact, another Lehman. Both of these Lehmans have Vanquisher cannons, which is going to be difficult for the Fire Prism to deal with. The Lehmans, of course, have way higher HP than Fire Prisms, as you can see here. But even with the Vanquisher, which has superior range to the normal battle cannon, it's only 55, whereas the Fire Prism has a 65 range cannon. But the DPS on the Prism is not great, and that was a nice little combo with the Prism knocking him into the grenade. Oh, the Lemurs are just going to be able to push through here and wreck the Prism, I think. Prism needs to retreat all the way back to base. Big cannon shot there from the Stormblade onto the Predator in the mid. No Bulgrins yet. No power. And the Lehman Russ are just bullying their way through. Pintle mounted last cannon there actually weakened the Fire Prism enough for the next shot to kill. It should have been 2 if the Pintle mounted last cannon didn't contribute. So Dingus got his melee assets down bottom. I think this is a pretty good idea. Should probably keep his Seers down here as well. The Seers and the Banshees together will rip these Chaos Terminators to shreds since they haven't opted for Lightning Claws, instead going for the autocannon. Dingus really needs to reposition these Banshees. They're taking damage for no reason. They need to be hidden here. Where's he going? He's taking a very wide arc with his Seer Council. Dingus, what are you doing, mate? Just get them on the Terminators. Good God. Really late engagement, and now the Khorne Predator has found them and is able to start shooting at them, getting good splash damage because they're all blobbing up. Yeah, that was poor play from Dingus there. Not really sure what he was paying attention to. There's nothing going on up top. Is he going to see the Emperor's Wrath? No, he's not. That's going to hurt. Oof. Jesus. Saved by the fact they're level 3, I think. Attempted flank from the Predator there, shut down pretty easily when the Stormblade faces it. However, as usual, that heavy melee Plague Champion's a problem. There is also this Vanquisher Lehman in the back. Okay, Bulgrins are now here. So you got to try and kill the Plague Champion with the supporting anti-infantry firepower. You got to escort your tank. See there the ability from the Stormblade, going to do good damage to the super heavy infantry armor of the Terminators, but quite frankly, this is just a ridiculous amount of things attacking it. You've got an Inferno Pistol Inquisitor, you've got the heavy melee here from the Plague Champion, 2 Vanquisher Lehman Russ, and a Mark of Khorne Predator. Remember, the Mark of Khorne Predator does get 25% more damage on its battle cannon compared to the default Predator, and the Stormblade's just taken down, outnumbered, and not really appropriately supported. You need some las cannons over here with shields on them. You know, you got the Bright Lances, they weren't in the correct position to deter these Lehmans. Not enough anti-infantry firepower to kill the Plague Champion, who just ran in and got 3 shots. Same with the Inquisitor, who just charged forward and got to shoot it with the Melt Pistol. Yep, just lost too many things, did the red team. Bulgrins did make it onto the field, but it's way too little too late. Just massively outnumbered. Bit of a cheese build, really, from Funnyman2U. Kind of hilarious that that Fire Prism just killed the Predator. I didn't even think it was aiming at it. I mean, I kind of wrote them off, but are they going to somehow win this with Eldar shenanigans? Surely not. Just split up the Lehmans. 1 Lehman up top, 1 Lehman in the mid. CSM got forced off by the Seer Council, and red team currently on the bottom and the top. Guardsmen are going to get wiped by the Terminators, indeed they do. Another attempted Emperor's Wrath, fuck me, that does a lot of damage. Guardsman nearly gets wiped out. But they do survive, and they didn't lose either of their models, so that's actually super cheap for them to reinforce. That's just 4 reinforces. It's not even that, what am I talking? Yeah, I don't know it is. So pretty damn cheap for them. That was a bit of a fail. Will the Banshees win this? I don't know. This is going to be a close fight. I'm kind of curious just to watch who's going to win this. I think the Banshees are winning, aren't they? Yeah. Bloody Banshees. But this is why the two lemurs are proceeding over. But it's actually a massive fail here from Theo, because what are they doing? Lemurs can't cap. So even if you force off the Banshees, you're not really achieving a whole lot. You can't cap. So they would have been better off in the mid to defend against this Warlock. Oh my god, are they going to win, the red team? This is ridiculous. Where are the Terminators? The Terminators are in the mid right now, but they're getting tied up by the Ballgrins, which are the perfect option, actually, to tie up these Terminators, since they take so little damage from the ranged attacks. I mean, the Storm Bolters literally do nothing, because they're super heavy infantry, but even the Autocannon won't do that much, due to the damage resistance and just the sheer amount of HP that these guys have got. And then they're, you know, they're thick, chunky boys. They can hang in melee against the Power Fist for quite some time. They're going to give the GG because it is a 3-0 cap for the red team, and there's no time for the blue team to cap any of these VPs. I can't believe they won that, even though they lost like all their units. Well, particularly Funnyman2U. Obviously, Dingus winning in the end there, with the webway gate plays, having the Seers coming out, capping the bottom, and denying the top from Theo. So, yeah, nice Eldar play in the end. Obviously, a lot of mistakes all around. Intermediate gameplay. Funnyman2U kind of trolling with a bit of a cheese build. Definitely not playing optimally, but created an enjoyable game nonetheless. Remember, guys, if you enjoyed the 2v2 cast, please let me know in the comments down below. Help boost the views for the 2v2s if you enjoy that kind of content, and you do that just by liking and adding a comment. That's all for you, Torpid, this time. I am signing out.